Hey guys, how's it going? So today I am going to do a first impressions review of ELEX2. Now, as always with all of my first impression reviews, I'm gonna play the game for an hour or two or whatever until I am satisfied that I can give you my full opinion on the game. And if you only want to hear my final opinions on the game, then you can simply skip to the last 10 minutes or so of the video, and I will give my final opinion at the end of the video. Otherwise, you guys can stay tuned, and I am going to play the game and give my running commentary on what I see and what I think about the game for the next hour or two. So the game is ELEX2. It costs $50. Obviously, it is the follow-up game to ELEX1. Now, ELEX1 was not a very well-received game, to be honest. It got about 70% positive reviews on Steam, which is not very good, to be completely honest. I liked the game. As far as I can remember, I did a review on ELEX1 when it actually came out, I think so. But the game was a couple of years old, and now ELEX2 is coming out, or is out already. And yeah, like I say, I liked ELEX1. It's obviously not a fantastic game, it wasn't awesome, but it was a completely playable open world game. I would almost compare it to something like Two Worlds 2 or Risen 3, anything like that. Risen 3 and Two Worlds 2 are both not fantastic open world RPGs, but they're fine, you know. It's a totally fine game. It's not amazing, there are problems, but it's actually not a terrible game. I played and enjoyed both of those games, Two Worlds 2 and Risen 3. I played and I enjoyed a little bit more than what I enjoyed ELEX1, to be honest, but still I played ELEX1 and I did enjoy the game. So today we will be seeing if ELEX2 can at least match what ELEX1 did. If it can be at least as good as ELEX1, then I will have no problem giving this game a recommendation. So first off, we have a couple of problems. First problem is the fact that the game is a console port. So the game was designed for consoles, not for PC. So it's a console game that was ported over to the PC. I am not a fan of that. I literally just finished reviewing Shadow Warrior 3, which is a game that I was quite looking forward to, and it turned out to be a pile of shit because, among other issues, the game is a console port as well. So there are inputs keyboard inputs, mouse inputs that simply are not being registered due to the console porting being done in a very shitty way. So already when I see that the game is a console port, I already am dubious, but we will see if the game is actually a good console port or if the porting was done badly. Another problem with the fact that it is a console port is the fact that the refresh rate is bad. 30 FPS is terrible. Like, you should not play games at 30 FPS. Now, I am playing on a 60 FPS monitor, so I do have VSync enabled. So I hope that the game will be running at 60 FPS, especially since I am recording at 60 FPS. So let's hope that the VSync actually works and that it will override the refresh rate over here. Now, while we are talking about the refresh rate, the refresh rates are very poor, to be honest. Very limited options: 24, 25 and 30. That's literally all options that you have. So 30, 25 and 24, those are terrible options. I mean, this is 2022. It's not 1990 anymore. In 1990, games used to run at 24 or at 30 FPS. This is now 2020. Games should not be running at 30 FPS anymore. The consoles as well these days are catching up to the power of PC, and even they can run games at 60 FPS. So there's no reason why the game should be limited to 30 FPS. What I would like to see here, by the way, the game is developed, well, not developed, but published by THQ Nordic, and it is developed by Piranha Bytes. So Piranha Bytes are the developers, THQ Nordic are the publishers. So what I would have liked to see in this game, and any 2020 game, to be honest with you, is firstly uncapped. You must have the option here to have the refresh rate uncapped. We see that in a lot of modern day games. They give you the option to have uncapped frame rates, to not have a frame rate cap on the game. Then after that, I would like to see 144, 120, well, there's other couple refresh rates in between 120 and then 60. Obviously there must be 60, 55, 50, 30 and then 24. That's fine. Some monitors have a 50 hertz refresh rate, others have a 55, and obviously my monitor has a 60 fps refresh rate or 60 hertz refresh rate. And the problem with them limiting your choices here, not having 144, not having 120, nothing like that, is the fact that if the game is not able to detect that you have a G-Sync monitor or a 144 Hz monitor or a 120 Hz monitor, if it is forcing you to be limited to 130, then you literally have a 144 Hz monitor or a 120 Hz monitor, or even in my case a 60 Hz monitor that is now running at 30 Hz because they simply do not give you the options. I mean, 24, 25 and 30 Hz, that's all options that I have. So even if I had a 144 Hz or a 120 Hz monitor, the game simply does not allow you to use those options. So that is another problem. It's a pretty big problem, I have to be honest with you. It's a pretty damn big problem. If the game is running at 30 Hz, which I will quickly be able to see once we actually play the game, because my eyes pick that up very quickly, then already I will unfortunately not recommend this game, solely based on the fact that the game constantly runs at 30 FPS. Like I said, no game should be running at 30 FPS or should be locked at 30 FPS. So that's the first problem. A couple other problems is the fact that the game does not have a true borderless full screen mode. So there's windowed mode, which is the mode that you choose. Then there's something that I've never heard of, full screen only, which is the one that I'm currently playing on, which is weird. I don't even know what the mode is, to be honest with you. Then there's full screen. We all know what full screen mode is. Borderless, we all know what borderless is, but this is borderless windowed mode. It's not borderless full screen windowed. So it's just a borderless. If you select this option, it gives you a borderless window. So it's basically windowed mode. It's a borderless windowed mode. So it's not full screen windowed, it's windowed borderless mode. And then there's windowed, which is a windowed mode, but you have the minimize buttons, the restore buttons, and the exit button at the top. So that's the difference between windowed mode and borderless windowed mode. But what is missing here is a borderless full screen windowed mode. So that's a problem, because I play all of my games on borderless full screen windowed mode, and this is simply not available in the game. So there's problems with the refresh rate, there's problems with the omission of windowed modes as well. So that's two problems already that we see. I also do not see any visually impaired modes. So if we go to gameplay, we might see it here, but I'm not seeing it. Nothing there. Audio, obviously it won't be there. Controller, there we can see that the game is a console port game, which is obviously another problem. Controls, nothing here. By the way, the mouse feels funny. I don't know what it is. It's probably due to the fact that the game is controller emulation. The game has controller emulation due to the fact that it's a controller console port, so the mouse feels funny. I hope that will not affect the gameplay. And then here we don't see any visually impaired or colorblind options. So that's another problem. If you are colorblind or visually impaired, then it seems the developers and the publisher by extension don't care about peoples who have color blindness or visual impairment, unfortunately. So you get three options. Story, easy, normal, hard, ultra. One thing that I don't like, which fantastically was also in Shadow Warrior 3, I also had this criticism of Shadow Warrior 3, which once again it's a game released in 2022, similar to this game, and they still haven't learned. What I want to see here when you select the difficulty is an explanation of the difficulty. So story mode, enemies deal 70% less damage and have 70% less health. Normal mode, they deal 100% damage, have 100% health. On hard mode, maybe 120% damage, 120% health, and then on ultra, let's say 180% damage and they have 180% health, and I don't know, you get less credits or something like that. You know, I want to see what the modes actually do, what the different difficulty modes actually have and what impact they have on the game. So this is another omission and a missing quality of life feature that I am not happy about. But with that being said, let's jump into the game.
Magalon, home to a civilization of millions. 166 years have passed since the comet hit, turning everything to ashes. A new era has begun. The war between the free people and the Albs is over. The hybrid lost control of its armies and ceased to function. The Albs became understanding and peaceful. The ELEX was released and once again spread across the entire hemisphere below the Albs' ice palace. But humans are quick to forget. Many of the larger settlements claimed the victory as their own and paid little interest to the affairs of others. Only a few remember those dark times, or one Commander Jax. My name and my deeds faded away in the mists of myth and legend.
By the way, I don't like this animation type.
Many years after the war with the Albs, humankind is plagued by petty conflicts and territorial disputes. Even though there's still the persistent uneasiness about the strange celestial phenomenon that was called forth by the hybrid before its defeat, I know that an unknown foe will come soon. The lives of all the aware will be shaken to their very core. All my efforts to prepare humanity for this impending danger were for naught. Humans forget. A vague, unknown threat looming in the sky quickly became nothing but a small, daily nuisance to most. Until now.
I really don't like that type of animation because it's very lazy. It's basically still images that are slightly animated. It's a very poor and lazy way of making cinematics. This is much better. This is what I want to see. In-game rendered cinematics. Even if it has post-processing, like this one clearly does. This one clearly has post-processing. It's something at least better than those still images. You can see this one was rendered with the in-game engine, and then a lot of post-processing has been added. So it's not actually in-game, but it is rendered with the in-game engine. Yeah, you're gonna take those things on with a knife. I don't think so. Okay, apparently they die from just rolling down a hill. Those are some very weak enemies. They must be like level 1 or something. And he throws away his knife. Why would he do that?
Damn it. I better get out of here before these things make short work of me.
Okay, so already the mouse, I can feel there is mouse acceleration or something. There's something going on with the mouse. Like I said, in the menu, I could already feel it in the menu. But when you're in game, you really feel it. So something is going on with the controller emulation. There's something weird going on. I don't see any options for mouse acceleration, which is bad. And that's all of the controller options that we have. I don't see anything. That's bad. If it's not at gameplay, then this is not going to be a very enjoyable gaming experience, I have to say. Nothing there. Yeah, that's not good. Normal, melee, blah blah blah. Can't change anything here. Yeah, guys, this is not good. I can feel there's something that's interfering with the mouse. It's probably mouse acceleration, but it also feels like input lag. It feels like there's quite a bit of input lag as well. So that's the first problem. The game does not seem to be running at 30 FPS. It doesn't seem to be running at 30 FPS. That's good. Because I was afraid that VSync would not take control. So that's good. I am seeing a lot of dimming. So you guys can see it. If I look at the sky, then the game brightens. Well, it dims. It actually dims when you look at the sky. And then when I look at the ground, like there, you guys can see a lot of contrast is added. Contrast and brightness. So if I look over there, it gets dimmed. If I look over here, it brightens again. And that's very noticeable. That's extremely noticeable. Look at that. So that's another problem. We haven't even started playing the game and already
Shit.
it's bad.
This damn tower landed right on my fucking house. Guess I can forget about my gear.
Oh, everything feels bad. I can't tell you guys how bad the controls feel.
Better get moving before they spot me.
The WASD that I'm using to move, it feels very bad. It feels like the character is swimming through water. It's just slow. I press in a direction and it literally takes half a second for the character to react to that movement. It's not good. I really don't know how they could, like, I don't want to talk like preemptively put the game down, but I don't know how they could have done a worse job than what they did on ELEX 1, and it already seems like the game is in a worse state than ELEX 1. I really don't know how they managed that, but from what I'm seeing right now, they actually managed to make a worse game than ELEX 1. That's very surprising. But let me not judge too quickly. The controls are bad. Perhaps the rest of the game can make up for it. Let's have a look. Okay, so having to loot all of these things individually is already very bad. They should give you an area of effect looting. Can I actually attack that thing? I'm left clicking, nothing is happening. I'm right clicking, nothing is happening. Do I need to press something to take out my weapon or to holster? Is there a holster thing? Let's have a look. Evade is control for some reason. Primary action, lock target, I'm not gonna be using that. Weapons mode, middle mouse button, there we go. And can we stealth? Yes, we can stealth. Okay, it already saw me. Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. Actions like attacking or evading cost stamina. If you're out of stamina, you can't perform these actions. So I assume that's my stamina there at the bottom right. Okay, so we are done with that one. We floated in the air a little bit there, but it's not too bad. The game looks nice. I'm running it on high. It looks nice. Really nothing to complain about. I mean, it's not Far Cry or anything like that levels of good, but it's not terrible. It's possible. I mean, my eyes aren't bleeding or anything like that, so the game's graphics is possible so far. Okay, apparently I can just literally climb over things with one step like that. Let's have a look. Plants and stuff. Okay, I'm hearing another enemy. Not seeing it though. This is one problem. A game like this where there's a lot of looting involved has to have some kind of a sense, like a survival sense, you know, like you get in Tomb Raider. A survival sense that shows you the items around you that you can loot, because otherwise you're going to be running around in the bushes like a headless chicken, just trying to constantly find stuff to loot, you know, like
Get the hell out of here.
even in Witcher 3, the Witcher has survival senses that you can click, and then it shows you all of the lootables and stuff like that around you. And it seems this game does not have that. So that's going to be a irritation throughout the entire game. Okay, apparently he saw me. Okay, so you can also block. I accidentally blocked with right click. Oh, okay, so it's not a block, it's a shove, it seems. Come at me, bro. So it seems the combat is just as basic as it was in ELEX 1. You just mash the left click button and that's it. There's really nothing else. It's not very intricate or complicated. There's no combo systems. I assume there's no heavy attack. Okay, so there is actually a heavy attack. So light attack, heavy attack, that's it. It's as basic as it was in ELEX 1, which is no real problem since the vast majority of the game is going to be played with weapons, so it's okay. Well, with guns, I should say. So it's okay if the melee combat system is not very intricate or anything like that. The fire on this thing looks looks bad. Like right there above my head, you can see it's almost like the fire is just materializing out of nowhere. And the fire is actually moving up and down. That's surprising. I have never seen fire move from one place to another and then back to the place where it was. It's like a moving fire, a living fire. So that's pretty funny. So let's have a look. Scrap. This is really irritating. Scrap is probably going to be important, and you literally have to have the eyes of a hawk in order to see where the scrap is on the ground. Okay, there's a little thing over here. I just hope that the game doesn't use the same damage system as what it did in ELEX 1, because I remember in ELEX 1 at the beginning there was a very powerful enemy. It was like a rock giant type enemy, and I had a bow, just like a normal bow. It did whatever 5 damage or something like that to normal enemies. But the game ELEX1 had a scaling damage effect type thing. So against an enemy that is your level, you do quote-unquote full damage, but against an enemy that is a higher level than you, you do vastly reduced damage. So I ended up shooting arrows at this giant enemy dude and only doing 1 damage per hit, whereas like normally if you attack an enemy that is your level, you do full damage, like 5 damage. So that is a terrible way of doing the combat system and damage scaling and all of that kind of stuff. Instead of just having the weapons do full damage always, they made it so that the weapons do reduced damage against higher level enemies, and that's a very poor way of doing the damage system in the game, like I say, because it's much better to just give higher level enemies more health. So a level 1 enemy will have 10 health, a level 50 enemy will have 2000 health. It's not necessary to then also do or make your character do reduced damage against the enemy with 5000 health, because then it's just ridiculous. It's a stupid amount of scaling, because the enemy has more health, which is fine, but you also deal like 20% damage against the enemy. So I really hope that this game does not have that system, because it really discourages exploration, because you are then actively discouraged from exploring and getting into fights with higher level enemies. Okay, so he just said something about I have to sneak past them or something like that, but I'm not seeing any enemies anywhere. So I don't know exactly which enemies he was talking about. Damaged lead pipe, like that. I almost ran past that damaged lead pipe, so it would have been really useful if you could actually have like a sense, you know, like in Witcher or anything like that, in order to actually see the lootable items on the ground and around you and all of that kind of stuff. I'm still not seeing enemies anywhere. But he said that I should sneak. What's this over here? What is that, an aeroplane or something? I heard something, but I didn't see anything. Okay, so that's some bad texture rendering over there. We're not gonna give the game too much of a hard time about that. I don't really mind that too much. What are the chances? Yeah, that's a long way down.
Take it slowly. You haven't recovered from that bite yet. It'll be a while before you get all your strength back. So perhaps you should put off anything too demanding for a few days.
Who are you?
You can call me Adam. Just think of me as a friend who was in the right place at the right time. That's all you need to know.
Ugh, what happened?
You should know. You were there. The invaders arrived, started taking over the world, transforming it.
Transforming? Terraforming, right? That's an alien species?
A most hostile, most dangerous species.
So they're not just in Caracas.
Their formers have appeared in every region, threatening life everywhere. It's not clear what they want yet. All they're doing for now is spreading infection, killing and destroying. Not a promising start.
Something's not right. I feel weak.
Yes, you were bitten by one of those creatures. Looks like it infected you. Some kind of disease.
What? A disease?
I'm still not sure how it works, but it's clearly all part of the invaders' plan. At the rate they're transforming things, it won't be long before the whole of Magellan is overrun with their plants and animals.
Oh, great.
You were lucky. It could have been a lot worse. If I were you, I'd stay out of their way and not tempt fate. All other instances of direct contact so far have proved fatal.
Where's my stuff?
If you're talking about the belongings you had in that hut, you can forget about them. All I could save is what you have on you.
How long have I been out?
A few days. You're still badly hurt. I did what I could with your wounds.
Days? No. Dex!
So I would say the cutscenes are passable. It's not terrible, but not amazing.
Be careful! Dex!
That was the most pathetic fall ever.
Hey! Damn it! My son's out there somewhere. I have to find him.
Then I'd say you'd better do that before anything else.
Why are you helping me?
These invaders are a threat to us all, and yet no one even seems to have noticed they're here. Everyone's so busy fighting each other, they can't see who the real enemy is. That's where you come in. You might be an outsider to them right now, Jax, but you're strong, smart, capable.
You know who I am?
I know you did your best to disappear, but not everyone's forgotten you. I need your help to save Magellan, to lead a resistance group. I call it the Sixth Power, a faction separate from all the others, focused on stopping this invasion. I'll show it to you. Meet me in the Bastion north of here.
No way. I tried to warn people years ago. No one listened. Now we've got the total annihilation of the planet staring us in the face, and still, all anyone cares about is their own stupid shit. I'm done caring about it. I have my own problems.
All right. Then deal with your own problems first. We can talk again later.
The World Heart to the north. Is it still there?
As far as I know, yes. The Berserkers are watching over it. Why do you ask?
My son's with them.
Then you should go, while things are still quiet around here. It won't stay that way for long. You know where to find me. You know, You'd get around a lot faster with a jetpack. I have one left. Take it. Like I said, go to the Bastion when you're ready. We have a lot of work to do. I'll be waiting there.
That's interesting that they give you a jetpack right from the beginning. Like normally you would have to like play 10-20 hours before unlocking a really fast mode of transportation like that. So that's very interesting. They clearly want to really emphasize the open world mechanic, I guess I could say, even though a lot of games like ELEX1 and Two Worlds 2, stuff like that, don't have very fast travel
The old man's
methods.
I should look for a healer among the berserkers.
Like like ELEX1, they didn't have jetpacks or nothing like that. We literally had to run everywhere. There was fast travel points, but I mean that's pretty standard. A lot of games have that. Pay attention to the fuel levels. If you run out of fuel, you will crash. You can continue to upgrade your jetpack over the course of the game. How does the fuel work, I wonder? Like, is fuel unlimited? Does it regenerate like stamina? Or do you have to get more fuel somewhere? Take all. We're gonna steal this old man blind. Let's have a look here. I don't see anything else. Okay, they clearly want me to use the jetpack because they're gonna keep that bloody notice there until I use the bloody jetpack. Let's see, there was something up there. Okay, I grabbed onto nothing. How do I drop down? Okay, space. And I fall myself into a coma. Okay, so apparently you just press space in order to release. I was pressing Control and C and Tab and everything possible. Fuel, okay. You have found fuel. You can use a jetpack workbench to increase the fuel supply for your jetpack. Okay, so I do see that the fuel does regenerate at the bottom right. So that's good. That means that you can use your jetpack pretty liberally. And you won't run into issues, and you can also upgrade it obviously with stuff that I just found, for instance. That one is nice and high, but I probably won't be able to make it all the way up over there right now. Probably need an upgraded jetpack or something like that. Let's have a look. Nothing in there that I can see. So I do like the fact that the game is very open world. We can already see that we can probably go where we want. That's nice. I like that. He said something about hunger. I hope the game does not have a hunger system, because I do not like games that have survival mechanics like hunger and water, heat and cold, you know, stuff like that. I'm not a fan of that at all. Let's have a look at the abilities a little bit. So there's combat, survival, crafting, personality, berserker, alb, which is magic, morcon, which I'm not sure about, spell, okay, so it's probably spells, outlaw, which is gun recipes, cleric, which increases your damage resistance, and instead of dying the last damage is ignored and you become invincible for a short time. That's nice. And then jetpack. So that's Oh, it's something gonna attack me. You bastard. While I was in the menu screen, you're gonna attack me. That's not nice of you. Die. How dare you attack me while I'm in the menu screen? So yeah, it's not bad. Where's my mouse? My mouse disappeared for a second. So yeah, jetpack, cleric, outlaw, which is guns and stuff, I think. Morgon, Elb, which is spells. Berserker, which is spells as well. Flame Transducer, Fire Overcharge, a lot of spells. Additional attribute points over there, receive more experience. That's nice, but 5% bonus for enemies killed. That's useless. Bloody 5% more experience for enemies is like nothing. That's a stupid talent. Why don't I make it more? And then crafting, lockpicking, locksmith, weapons, resist all, increase protection, combat stats improve when you're traveling without companions. Oh, that's cool. So we're gonna get companions as well. Grenades, heavy weapons, ranged weapon specialist, and melee damage. So obviously, if the game is the same as ELEX-1, then weapons, meaning guns, are gonna be king. You're gonna basically be using guns throughout the entire game, because in ELEX-1 guns were by far more powerful than any of the melee weapons. I like this. I like the fact that you can inspect. Okay, but apparently you can't turn the enemies around. Yeah, I'm trying to turn them around, but apparently you can't. So that's not nice, but I mean, it's not too bad. You can't inspect them, but at least you can look at them from one single angle. I guess that's not too bad. It's better than nothing. So that's not too bad. It seems the game has a pretty good character progression system, similar to what ELEX-1 had. So that's good. Let's have a look. So where should I go? I don't even see anything on my map. Let's have a look here. Okay, old man, blah blah blah. Infected. Okay, is that the one? Okay, let's do that one. Mark on map. Okay, and then we go to map. Is that over there, or is it that over there? Let's have a look. Okay, I'm not seeing... I guess that's that. I mean, I'm not seeing another marker, to be honest. I can't zoom out more. You can zoom in, but this is the maximum that you can zoom out. But the map seems okay. Doesn't seem massive, but it seems pretty nice. It doesn't go too far to the left or to the right, but it's very long. It's a very long map. But it seems nice. I'm sure we will be able to get several dozen hours of gameplay out of the game, perhaps. It's at least better than Shadow Warrior 2, Shadow Warrior 3 that you can beat in fucking 5 hours. So let's have a look here. Anything here? I see something over there, just to the bottom. Come on. The jetpack is a little bit clunky, but I think that really comes down to the controls being clunky. The controls are rather clunky, I have to say. It's like definitely worse than ELEX-1. definitely worse than Two Worlds 2. It just feels, like I said, it feels like you're swimming. It doesn't feel like you're walking on land. It feels like you're swimming constantly. Okay, that one gave 20 experience for some reason. Let's see how much health I gain when I eat something. 35. Okay, and it's not instant health, it's regenerating health. You've activated the teleporter, that's nice.
Good to see you.
Jax, so glad you're alive. We feared the worst.
What happened here?
Caught us completely off guard during the night watch. They blindsided us.
The strange intruders?
No. The Morcons. See here? They're fallen bloodhounds. The biggest group of them is already moving back up north.
Can you heal me?
Of course. I can give you a few flasks. But we need the rest for our wounded. Ugh. You look like shit, Jax.
I'm all right. Just got bitten by one of those damn creatures.
Shit. Better get that looked at.
Yeah, well, I want you to look at it.
Obviously. Those large purple formers. Ever see them before?
Oh, when the outsiders arrived, they spread out down south. We saw a lot of their creatures when we were out hunting. Couldn't always deal with them, though. Had this whole battle of the factions to deal with.
Do you have a healer who can look at my bite? The infection?
Well, most are dead, but Kaya survived. She's the best mage of all of us. Show her your injuries.
Where's Dex? Where's my son?
His mother took him with her.
Kaya was here? With him?
Yes, and she followed the Morcons north. You know she'll never rest until she's defeated them all.
What are the chances? Kaya is the healer he sent me to, and Kaya is the mother of Jax, and by extension, probably our partner. So, what are the chances? Literally, the person who is going to heal me is my wife or whatever.
Why'd you stay here?
I am a warlord of the Berserkers. I have responsibilities. I can't just leave the world hard defenseless after an attack like this. Men trust in my leadership.
The World Heart is still intact?
Thank the stars. The Morcons were only out to kill Berserkers and take our horde of ELEXII. The World Heart is unscathed. It continues to deliver mana to the Earth. Nature will soon flourish here in Caracas.
It's strange that the Morcons dared to go so far.
Yes, very strange indeed. They usually keep their destructive urges inside their grotto. Something must have roused them.
Probably those intruders and their bizarre creatures.
Maybe. But I believe they have other motives. They're religious fanatics who worship a violent god. Who can guess what motivates such people? Well, when you meet Kaya, be patient with her. He's taken the losses over the last few days quite hard. We fought the Morcons to the very end. Tried to prevent the worst.
Okay. Couple of things that I can loot over here. Once again, I would have really liked it if I had like a sense type thing to show me the loot, but okay. Another problem is I'm not even double tapping, and yet my character is rolling as if I'm double tapping. So the inputs are a little bit screwy. It thinks you're double tapping when you're not even double tapping. I just got a sword. I assume the sword is better than my pipe that I have. And like I said, I'm still not a fan of the fact that you don't have area of effect looting. So instead of just clicking once and looting everything, you now have to spend 10, 20, 30 seconds clicking in order to loot everything. So that's gonna waste a lot of your time in the game. Just constantly standing still and clicking. I remember the first game had stealing, so I'm not sure if this game has stealing as well. Hopefully I don't steal something and then the people hate me. Okay, modifiers and specializations. I'm assuming that's the strength modifier that I just picked up. Blacksmith. Let's see, maybe he has some guns or something like that.
Really gotta watch your back around here. Caracas is a tough place.
Trouble?
Obviously. It takes its toll. We can always use more people. But, though we may be few, at least I have materials for weapons so we can fend off external attacks.
Do you have a weapon for me too?
I don't give weapons away for free, if that's what you're asking. But I've got a little forge, and you're welcome to use it if you want. If you don't know how it works, I might be able to teach you something, but I won't do it for free. So you should have a little experience and a couple of shards in your pocket. If you're looking to buy something, I've got a few things lying around, but I need most of what I've got for the boys.
Could you teach me something?
What do you want to know?
You have found your first trainer. Trainers help you learn skills. You can look at the skill description to find out what your qualifications you need to learn a skill, what it costs, which trainers can teach it to you. Okay, so lockpicking, that's obviously going to be useful, but I don't have the dexterity or intelligence necessary. So I'm definitely going to want to do that. So I'm going to have to get 10 dexterity, 10 intellect. That's going to be important. Lockpicks can no longer break. That's not too bad. Pickpocket. Okay, so there is stealing in the game. 25 dex, 15 cunning. So right now he can just teach me bold weapons. Which I don't really care too much about right now, to be honest. I'm not gonna do that right now. Mining as well, that's gonna be important. And animal trophies, which you can obviously then sell. So that's also gonna be pretty important. For some reason the mouse disappears. Like, the mouse can actually go off the screen. Like, it's weird. It can't go above of the screen. It can't go there off the screen, but it can go to the right of the screen quite a lot, to be honest. Like, I'm moving my mouse and I have to tell you, it's like there's another screen over there, and it's like there's another screen over here, but it isn't. There isn't. I'm not running a multiple monitor setup right now, so it's just weird that you can actually take your mouse off the screen quite a bit.
I want to buy some stuff.
Of course.
Let's see, damaged lead pipe, rockets, and a whole bunch of other ammo, plasma shells, energy shells, cannon. That's gonna be interesting. That's not good, not good. It doesn't show you what you're currently wearing. That's not nice. I really would like to be able to see what I'm currently wearing, unless I'm not wearing anything right now. I mean, that's a possibility, but I think I should at least be wearing something right now. Bunch of food, plants, tools, materials, recipes, mana potion, ELEX drink, strength recipe, ELEX drink, health potion, and then jetpack fuel for the jetpack upgrade, obviously. Okay, let's see. Am I wearing something right now? Okay, so I'm not wearing anything right now, so it is a possibility that it's simply not showing me what I'm wearing right now, since I'm not wearing anything right now, technically. Oh, I actually have a crossbow, but I don't have any dexterity. I don't have enough dexterity right now. Can I actually equip it or not?
No, just can't do that.
Okay, no, I didn't. You literally need to have that amount of stats before you can equip stuff. It's not like Dark Souls or anything like that, where you can actually use a weapon without having the full requirements, but then you just have a little bit of a disadvantage. You in this game you literally can't equip it until you have that stats, which is fine. That's not anything bad. That's pretty standard in most games, actually. So let's go out and seek a bit more experience, so that we can then obviously get a bit more stats and stuff, so that we can actually wear stuff.
Oh, fuck!
Yeah, don't worry. The amount of fuel that I have is very little, I have to say that. Like, I don't even have like 3 seconds of flight time, and then I run out. So at the beginning, your jetpack is relatively useless. You're certainly not going to be able to fly very far. It's mostly used for height at the beginning, just to gain a little bit of height. You're not really going to be able to fly distances of any measurement, really, at the beginning. Okay, there's a turkey thing over there. The experience, that's nice. The game does not have health regeneration. I'm not a fan of that at all. I prefer games to have health regeneration.
I want to see Kaya.
How did they hear him? He's like fucking 30-40 meters away from him. She does not look happy.
Finally, the mysterious stranger honors us with his presence.
Sorry, I got held up.
Oh, well, how can I complain when faced with such a valid reason?
All right, I get it. You're angry, but I've spent a few days out cold in some ruins.
Is that so? And how did that happen?
Maybe you haven't realized, but we have a new enemy.
Yeah, I noticed. As if I didn't have enough problems. As you can see, my hands are pretty much full.
You're going to take our son on one of your expeditions?
He's better off staying with us right now. There have been far too many attacks on the fort lately. He's not safe there anymore.
Oh yeah, much safer out here.
I don't need a lecture from you. Mister, I like to disappear into my hut when things get difficult.
Actually, the hut is gone. Buried under one of those flying fortresses.
I'm happy to hear it. I never understood why you chose to hide in there instead of living with us.
I didn't want to burden you with my problems. I respected you too much for that.
Don't make me laugh. You felt wounded because the faction leaders wouldn't listen to your warnings of the potential dangers. And instead of accepting that failure and moving on, you curled up into a ball and wasted years of your life. You were a great man once, Jax. Think of all you did. Fighting your own people, storming the Ice Palace, defeating the hybrid.
Not everyone remembers it that way.
I was there, and that is exactly what happened. No matter what people remember, or choose to remember.
Well, those potential dangers, as you call them, are right in front of us now. We both saw this coming. And now it's up to us to fight for everyone's survival.
I know, just as it ever was. People are too preoccupied with their own lives to worry about the future of humanity. But that doesn't mean you should ignore your own life. If only you had been a real father to Dex, none of this would have happened. Do you think I should have left him on the battlefield at the World Heart then?
No, of course not.
Anyway, Asker will take good care of him. He would never leave him behind. Unlike you.
I have to say, the scene transitions, like that one that we just had, between the cutscene talking, and then the cinematic, and then again the cutscene talking. It's very rough, I have to say. It does not feel natural. It's really rough, actually. That's one issue, but I have to say, on an unrelated note, the voice acting so far is good. It's not terrible. It's actually completely passable, I would say. So that's one good thing so far, though. The voice acting is not bad.
Where's Dex now?
He's nearby. Asker is teaching him a lesson in patience. You would think he would have learned that from us.
Oh, very funny.
What? Don't you think I know I could have done better too? That this wasteland is no place for him? If you have any better suggestions, let me know. But don't look at me like that. Don't you dare judge me.
Dex needs to be somewhere safe.
Really? Then why don't you do something about it? It's about time you took care of your own son. I just hope you know what you're doing.
I've been speaking to this old man, Adam. He's been treating my wounds. He said the Bastion in the north should expand, become a major power. Sounds like that would be a safe place.
What are you talking about? Adam? An old man? For goodness sakes, Jax, what have they done to you? Are your senses so impaired that you can't see what's in front of you?
What's that supposed to mean?
There is only one old man in the Bastion who fits your description. And that is Dawkins. Dr. Adam Charles Dawkins.
I was talking to Dawkins? I don't believe it.
How badly did they hurt you, Jax, for you not to recognize him? This is the man who set the Albs against the Free People, who plunged Magellan into years of war, all for the hybrid. The miserable bastard who, let's not forget, was inside a mechanical pod until recently. Of course, he's but a shadow of what he was.
It almost sounds like you would have forgiven all his crimes against humanity.
The killing machine from back then has been destroyed. The shattered husk that survived barely has the strength to tell you what he knows. Dawkins is just an old man now. Without his machine, I don't think he's anything to worry about, to be honest.
Ugh. That explains a few things. I should pay him another visit.
Yeah, why don't you do that? After all, he only stole a whole year of your life.
No. Something's wrong. I need your help.
You look exhausted. What happened?
One of those creatures, one of the invaders, it bit me. The old man says I'm infected, but he didn't know what with.
Well, I can probably mix you something once I'm back home in Tavar. But we're in the middle of a battle with the Morcons. So I'm afraid you'll just have to hang in there for the moment.
We need to talk about this new enemy. We're gonna have a lot to deal with.
I know. That's one reason I'm out here. Because of that and all the other threats to our lands. I always expected something like this, just not this soon. Could it be the Aware that the hybrid spoke of?
It's more than that. I think he might have even called them here somehow. One of the last things the hybrid did was to fire a signal into the sky. It caused a strange celestial phenomenon no one's been able to explain.
That isn't a comforting thought. People need to prepare for what's coming. But damn it, I just don't have the time right now. I can't leave until I solve this situation with the Morcons.
I don't recognize you anymore. You're obsessed with the fight against the Morcons.
Did you see what they did at the World Heart? It was a massacre. They practically wiped out all our warriors. We have to strike back before they can reach the grotto. Once they disappear inside, we'll be dealing with more than just their bloodhounds. They'll unleash their destroyers, and who knows what else on us.
I'll take care of your Morcon problem.
And how are you gonna do that? You're sick.
I'm going to need your help against these invaders. It's pointless for you to waste your energy on trivial skirmishes. A couple of Morcon bloodhounds won't be able to stop me.
Very well. I'll gather my men and prepare for a retreat. But be careful. Those animals will do anything to get their hands on ELEXII.
You just leveled up. Open your adjudicator to distribute attribute points, find a teacher, and spend learning points to learn new skills.
Look after Dex, do you hear me?
So it
Kill you if anything
was
happens to him.
dexterity. How much points do I have? 8. It shows you up there. Okay, so we can put on there. And the rest we can put on there. That should be fine. Increases ranged damage. And this one increases intellect, permanently increasing mana or PSI power, and unlocks new abilities. So that's fine. I also like the system where for every 5 points that you invest in an attribute, you get a bonus. That's not too bad. And that we will apply those. That's fine. And then now, if you want to, we can go back to the other guy and go learn lockpicking. But I think I'm gonna level up a little bit more, and then I will go back to that other guy. But now we should be able to equip the bow. Yes, we can. Assign quick slot. by pressing F. And we can't wear those yet. We need more strength. So melee weapons are gonna use a lot of strength, and ranged weapons are gonna use a lot of dexterity. Do we need to... What's this? How do we equip this? Wow, we can actually just equip it like that. That's interesting. So we can equip one modifier at a time currently. That's not too bad. Arrows. Okay, so arrows, they do use... your bows do use arrows. That's pretty standard.
My head. Looks like I still have a long, painful road ahead.
Yes, I'm sure. Is that some more fuel? Yes, it is. That's nice. Safe. Take all of that. Dark ELEX, don't know what that is. Money. Hardium. Spray cheese. Okay, we can't take any of these weapons, unfortunately. Let's have a look. I can't upgrade this. Looks like an upgrade bench, but apparently it isn't. So one thing that I also noticed, obviously, is the fact that NPCs that you interact with have a I don't know how to say it, like a reputation almost with you. So they will react to stuff that you say and do. I don't know what that will result in the end, but it is worth noting. And then also it said destruction decreased. I don't know what that is. When I did a good thing, oh, it's probably this. It's probably this over here. That is destruction, and then that is, I'm assuming, the opposite of destruction. So it doesn't show me right now. I'm clicking on it, but nothing is happening. So you also have a morality system. So if you do a lot of bad stuff, your destruction is gonna increase, and I don't know what will happen, but it's gonna increase. I don't know what the side effects are going to be, and then if you do good stuff, your whatever, the opposite of destruction will then increase. And once again, I don't know what the good and bad points of that is going to be. I guess we will find out later. So it's pretty clear that quests give a nice amount of experience. I got 400 from just that single quest, which is nice.
Cut that crap!
What? I hope I'm not stealing stuff, because...
Stop that!
Oh, I am stealing stuff. But it's not showing me that I'm stealing stuff, so what? How does the stealing system work then? It's literally not showing me that I'm stealing stuff. So I'm not sure. How do I save? Okay, apparently no saves have been done so far. That's not good. The game should obviously autosave. I don't know. This, I think it's this guy that yelled at me.
What's your job?
Kaya's bodyguard. Good job. Bad pay.
I see. Neat summary.
Don't get yourself too worried. Yes, there's a new threat from the north.
So will he yell at me if I steal this stuff as well?
Roaming our lands and infecting them with purple stuff. But We have
I can't see if anyone is seeing me.
We can
Oh,
handle
okay, there at the bottom left, I think.
This is me, Herbert.
That eye, it's like a closed eye. I think that will show if someone is actually seeing you. It should show show you, you know, if you're spotted or not. So if I sneak here, you can see right now I'm spotted there at the bottom left. And then if I like go out of stealth or into stealth, whatever, then there it goes. So okay, that's apparently the stealth mechanic. I had to figure that out on my own. They didn't even tell me or nothing. So the tutorial definitely can use a little bit of work, to be honest, because they don't tell you anything about stealth. Stealth is probably important in the game. It was pretty important in ELEX 1 with stealing and all of that kind of stuff, because you could steal a lot of stealth. You could steal a lot of stuff with stealth. So it's pretty important, but yeah, they don't even tell you. Take some beer, take some wine.
Aren't you kind of young for a warrior?
Hey, I may be green, but I'm a quick learner. And there ain't no finer teacher than Kaya.
Can't argue with you there.
I've learned a lot, and that's thanks to her. It's such an honor to serve beside her.
Yeah, I have to say, the dialogue it's not bad. It's a little bit hit and miss here and there, but it's not bad overall. Certainly not something that I would like really, I guess I can say, remove points from the game based on just that, you know, based on the dialogue. The dialogue is fine. I don't really have a problem with the dialogue. I'm assuming they're not gonna get mad at me when I steal plants or when I take plants from the ground. I don't think they will care about that. Oh, there's some dark ELEX over here. Okay, you guys didn't care about that because no one yelled at me. Let's have a look over here. Toilet paper and stuff like that, and a plate. I'm assuming I can sell all of this stuff. Okay, so let's go get a little bit of experience. I do have a bow right now, so I should be relatively fine with regards to taking on multiple enemies now. Obviously, you don't really want to take on multiple enemies with a melee weapon, since you're obviously at a disadvantage then. Let's just have a look here. I got an enhanced pipe, which does 2 more damage than my current pipe. So let's equip that one over there. And equip it. There we go. Okay, so let's have a look at my map. Where am I? I'm over there, and Dex is over there. So I literally just need to go over there. It would have been nice if I could just fly over there, but yeah, my jetpack is pretty useless. A bunch of rats. I wonder if the water will damage me. I'm assuming not. There are some barrels in the water, but as long as the barrels aren't like poison barrels or anything like that, I should be fine. Like radiation barrels or something. But yeah, so far I'm not too down on the game, to be honest. I'm having a good time actually. There's obviously a couple of things that I guess I can call jankiness, that have a little bit of jankiness with the game, but I mean, it's ELEX. ELEX 1 was very janky, and I hoped that the developers would be able to get rid of a large portion of the jankiness in this game, but it seems they still have put a lot of jankiness in the game. Obviously, they don't put the jankiness there, but I mean, jankiness doesn't just materialize out of nowhere, you know. You can, if you put enough effort in, make a game that is not janky. And this game is still pretty janky. Let's see. Okay, so my distraction increases if I kill them. That's not necessarily something that I want to do. I do get 10 experience, which is actually good, but let's not increase my distraction unnecessarily. Okay, there is Dex. Let's sneak just in case people get angry at me for taking this stuff. Move the lockpick left and right to set the correct position of the bolts. Okay, so that's a very easy lockpick system. What other game had that same lockpick system? I can't remember. Was it ELEX? Because I've played another game with that exact same lockpick system. It's possibly ELEX. I mean, I doubt that the developers would steal a lockpick system 100% like that from another game. So it's probably ELEX 1 that had that lockpick system. But yeah, I've definitely played a game before that has that exact same lockpick system. And it's a very nice, very easy lockpick system. It gets more difficult later on because the pins increase. Like there was only 4 pins, but later on you can get lockpicks with like 7, 8, 9 pins. So it gets quite a bit more difficult, but at the end of the day it's just a memory game. It's a lockpicking system that is a memory game. You need to remember which lockpicks went up and which lockpicks did not go up. So let's talk to Dex, whatever.
Is it true the Morcons are bad people, Father?
Where did you hear that?
Mother says they invaded our camp at the World Heart and killed lots of us. It was really horrible. Why are the Morcons doing this?
It's hard to explain.
I don't get it. Only bad people would do something like that, wouldn't they?
We'll make sure nothing like that happens again.
I know. You always say it's a dangerous world. But people shouldn't do things like that to each other.
No, of course not. It was a small group. I'm sure not all Morcons are like that.
You mean those weren't real Morcons?
They were, but I think they attacked the World Heart because they were bad people, not because they were Morcons.
You're right, Father. It's hard to explain.
This constant brightness changing is really irritating. The whatever you want to call it, adjustable auto adjustable contrast that the game has is really irritating, because when it switches from this view to the other view towards my character, the view towards my character is much more light than this view, so then the game adjusts it and you can see it happening. It's quite distracting, and it breaks immersion, because when that happens, when you see the brightness changing like that, you immediately snap out of thinking that you're in the game, and you realize, oh yeah, right, I'm not actually playing, I'm not actually in the game, I'm in front of my computer monitor, you know. So it's something that is unnecessary in the first place, and secondly, it breaks immersion for the player. So I'm not a fan of the auto brightness whatever thing.
What are you up to?
Mother says I have to wait here until she finishes her work. But she's taking so long. Can't we go somewhere else?
It's probably for the best. You're not safe out here. Wait here. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, wait. That's all I ever do around here. You have to let Asker know we're leaving too. Or we might get worried.
Jax, glad you're here. Kaya and the little one were worried.
How's my son?
Doing pretty well, considering recent events. But it's too much for a boy his age.
He shouldn't even be here.
Well, his mother wanted him with her. These last few days have been something else. Turbulent times we live in.
Kaya left you in charge of our child?
She did, and I consider it an honor. I know you're both busy, and I see no signs of that changing anytime soon.
I'm taking the boy to the Bastion. Kaya and I think it's the best thing for him, given the circumstances.
Won't hear me complaining. Means you're responsible for the boy from here on out. The Bastion is in the north, right? The ruins where that Dawkins fella lives?
Seems like everybody but me knows who the old man is and what he's up to.
Well, you've clearly been out of town for quite some time.
Clearly.
I'll head out to the Bastion right away then. Gotta get the place ready. I'll see you there. Watch yourself out there.
Come with me. I'll get you out of here.
Really? I don't have to wait anymore?
I'll take you to the Bastion.
Oh, I've always wanted to go there. Asker says there's ghosts.
Really? That's what he tells you. We'll talk about this later.
Okay, I love ghosts.
Come on. We've got to go now.
So I wonder how the combat interaction will be now, because obviously the kid probably can't attack, but the question is, can he be attacked? So will I have to constantly defend him, or will he be more or less okay?
I should tell you.
Oh, come on. I'll understand.
I was unconscious, so I couldn't come see you.
Unconscious? Really? Like when all the lights go out and everything?
That's right.
Wow. Why were you unconscious?
There were these, Come on. We gotta keep moving.
Let's see if we can sneak attack that guy. Okay, apparently you can only hold your left click for so long. Yeah, you can only hold left click with the bow for a certain amount of time, then the arrow automatically fires. Not a huge fan of that, to be honest. Let's just see here. There should probably be some stuff over here that I can get. Okay, you also get destruction for killing these. That's not something I necessarily want to do.
I don't want you to worry.
Really? I'm the son of the biggest daredevil in the world, and you don't want to worry me?
Yeah, well, the less you know, the less you have to worry about. Come on.
What the hell, does he also have a jetpack? Because I didn't use my jetpack there, and yet I heard the jetpack noise. Does he have a jetpack? I'm not seeing a jetpack on his back, so I don't know where that noise came from. Oh, there's a big bull thing over there. Oh, that seems like a nice weapon, even though I probably can't wield it yet. Let's see. Holy tits. Yeah, 48 strength, 24 constitution. That's a lot.
About what happened to you. She'll tell me.
Fine. I guess it's better if I tell you myself.
Yeah?
You see, we're under attack.
Is it the Morcons?
No, they're these aliens. And they've come to invade our lands.
Oh, I know about them. Mother told me, but they're still far away.
Not far enough. I had to fight some and they hurt me.
Really?
Yeah. They left me behind, but... well, I haven't been myself for a few days.
Cool.
Oh yeah, real cool.
Come here!
Oh, 50 experience, that's nice. The bricklebacks are obviously more powerful than the normal stuff that I've been fighting so far, because the normal stuff so far I've been able to defeat with a single bar of stamina, but that guy I actually ran out of stamina. So it's clear that
Come here!
they are a bit more powerful. Okay, there's two of them, that's not good. Okay, that one was a weak one. Okay, not too bad. Those are jackals. Not bricklebacks.
These invaders, why are they here? What do they want?
Well, nobody really knows yet. They haven't told us. But, seeing how things are going, we'll find out soon enough. And I don't think we're gonna like it.
But you and Mother will look after everyone, won't you?
That's why I have to make sure you're safe first. Then we'll have to find out exactly what we're up against. All right, enough questions. We have to keep moving.
Yes, Father.
Were they guarding anything or not actually? Let's have a look. Because sometimes if you find multiple enemies in an area, then they are guarding something. But I'm not seeing anything, so that's fine. Let's just continue. So yeah, my one big criticism of the game is the fact that you don't have a survival sense or anything like that, like what you get in Witcher 3 or yes, he does have a jetpack. That's interesting. You don't have a survival sense like Witcher 3 or Tomb Raider, where you the things around you are highlighted.
What if the aliens just want to live here in peace with us, and we don't understand them properly?
Dax.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, that's going to affect the rest of your game, like the entire game, because you're constantly going to be not only wandering around, wasting time looking for things, you are also going to be missing a lot of things, because the survival sense, like the thing that allows you to see all of the loot and interactable objects around you, has two very good benefits. The first is you don't miss things, and the second is it saves you a lot of time, because you don't need to wander around aimlessly looking for stuff, because you will immediately know if there is stuff to loot. So you wander around aimlessly a lot less, and obviously, like I said, you also will not be missing as much stuff then. So the fact that the developers have chosen to not put in a survival sense in the game is disappointing, to be honest. The game would have been much better with a survival sense, and we can see that in games like Witcher 3 or Tomb Raider. A bunch of games have survival senses. It simply makes the game a lot better, and it wastes a lot less of the player's time as well. Wow, that thing has a lot of health. Okay, 50 experience for those, but they have a lot of health. And they can poison you, seemingly. Damaged Warhammer, can't wear that. But I can wear that Berserker's hood. So that is literally my first equipable item. I also have a Vigor modifier, but that just gives me 10 more health, not really useful. Chems, I'm not gonna use chems. Stay away from chems, kids. Say no to chems. Let's have a look here. Potato salad. like right here, I'm literally wasting time running around looking for stuff in each room, where if the developers just allowed you to have a survival sense, then you would not be wasting time. I would have already been done with this house, but instead I'm now gonna spend 2 minutes or more in this house just walking through it looking for stuff. So it's really a lot less efficient than what a game would be that actually had a survival sense. Let's sleep, I don't know, until the morning. I just want to get a little bit of health back, to be honest.
Interesting.
What's interesting? Okay, since we have a quest apparently to kill 5 of these things, I guess we can do that. There should be 4 more in the area. Chili con carne. So, I don't know, guys. I think I've pretty much made my mind up about the game. To be honest with you, I am a little bit disappointed in the game. I really expected the game to be significantly better than ELEX, because ELEX was one of the first games from the studio, from Piranha Bytes, and obviously it did pretty well. Like, even though the game itself was not reviewed and received very well, only had 70% positive on Steam. And a couple of people liked it, a couple of people didn't like it. It was really mixed reviews almost, but the game did sell pretty well, I think. I mean, it has a lot of reviews on Steam, so I really thought that the developers would learn from ELEX1 and obviously use their income, or the income from ELEX1, to make a bigger, better game for ELEX2. And I can certainly see that they did a good job with the graphics. The graphics are better than ELEX1. The world might be bigger. I really can't tell if the world is bigger, because the world for ELEX1 was really quite big, but they definitely did not improve in a lot of other areas. They might have improved the graphics, they might have improved the world and the size of it, but the combat is still very clunky, it's still janky, it's still basically 100% the same as it was in ELEX1. The skill system is still very much the same that it was in ELEX1. The dialogue is not bad, like I said. I really can't criticize the dialogue. The dialogue is acceptable. The voice sync to the lips of the characters is acceptable. It's actually better than Shadow Warrior 3 that I reviewed recently. It's actually better than that game, which is astounding. since the studio behind Shadow Warrior 3 almost certainly has a lot more money than the studio has. But there's just so many things that's wrong with this game. Like I said, the fact that the game does not have survival instincts or survival like area thing, you know, to highlight loot, that's bad. It wastes a lot of the player's time, and it means that the player is going to be missing a lot of items a lot of the time. The fact that the game does not have unlimited frames, and the fact that you can't set the frames of the game apart from 30 FPS and 24 and 25 FPS, that's pretty stupid. Like, what if I had a 144 Hz monitor or 120 Hz monitor, anything like that? Or if I wanted the game to run at uncapped frames, that's another issue. The fact that the game does not have a real borderless full screen windowed mode is bad. The fact that the game seemingly doesn't autosave. I mean, if I go over here to save, I'm only seeing the saves that I have done. And that's not good. Let's have a look here. Okay, so autosaves. Oh, okay, so the autosaves don't show up at the save. It should actually show up here, but it's not. So okay, the game does have autosaves. The game does not, however, have colorblind settings, sight impaired settings, nothing like that. The game is a console port, and it is unfortunately not a very good console port. The game has some kind of a mouse acceleration, which I can feel on my mouse, and you can't turn it off at all. So I can feel there's something funky going on with the mouse controls, and you can't turn it off. That's very bad. That's going to affect the rest of your entire game. The fact that the movement feels like the character is swimming. It's like, it just feels weird. It's difficult to explain to you, but it feels like the character is swimming. Constantly when he's moving, it feels not natural. The fact that the game has auto brightness, auto contrast that you can't turn off is bad. It's very distracting. Like I said, it's going to basically constantly break the immersion of the game. That's obviously not good, and that's constantly active throughout your entire game. So doesn't matter 10, 20, 30, 40 hours that you're going to be playing this game, it's going to be ever present and ever irritating. And I really don't know why the developers don't allow you to change, to turn it off or change it, the settings at all. Overall, the settings of the game is actually pretty limited. There's really a couple of quality of life features that are simply missing, really. The fact that the stealing in the game is not explained, stealth is not explained. There's probably a bunch of other stuff that also is not explained that I simply have not encountered yet. I don't know, guys. I really just can't see how this is an improvement over ELEX 1, because really, in my opinion, it's not really an improvement over ELEX 1. Like, certain aspects are better, certain aspects are worse. And I'm not a game dev, but I don't know how you can make one game and then not learn from your previous game. I mean, if you make Diablo 1, then obviously you are going to try to make Diablo 2 better than Diablo 1 in every aspect, you know. But just really, it seems that the developers have learned very little from ELEX 1, since they've made a lot of the same mistakes and design mistakes in this game as well that they did in ELEX 1. It's just really, I don't know if they read reviews, because really you just need to go to the reviews of ELEX 1 on Steam and just read them, and a lot of the criticisms that people have had of ELEX 1 is still present in this game. So I don't know, it just really feels like the developers didn't really put a huge amount of effort into improving their game. They really just more or less cranked out another game, almost like they splooged another game out onto Steam, and they just expect people to pay $50 for the game, which really is not good, you know. If you're gonna make a second game, a follow-up to your first game, then you should make sure that the game is at least better than your first game. And really, I am struggling to say that this game is better than ELEX 1. Really, it's not better than ELEX 1 by a significant margin. It might be slightly better, but really, overall, I really can't say that the game is even like good. Almost. I mean, the game is pretty mediocre. ELEX 1 had its problems, but it was almost a good game. It's I wouldn't say that it was a good game, but it was almost a good game. But really, I am struggling to recommend this game, especially since it costs $50. $50 is a lot of money. It's a lot of money, really. Like, it's AAA kind of money. And I'm sorry, but if you're talking about AAA kind of money, then okay, I just unfortunately loaded a game. But if you're talking about AAA kind of money, then you're talking about God of War for $50. You're talking about Horizon Zero Dawn for $50. You're talking about Cyberpunk 2077, which is a dramatically better game than this, for $50. You're talking about Witcher 3 for $50. Like, you're going up against some very, very good games. And if your game is not nearly as good as those games, which this game is not, then you simply can't ask $50 for it. It's simply not logical. You have to think about it like a car. You can't charge the same money for a Nissan Micra as you can for a Ferrari. It's not logical. And this game is a Nissan Micra, and Cyberpunk 2077 and Witcher 3 are Ferraris, and they're Lamborghinis, and they're Bugattis. So charging the same for your Nissan Micra as a Ferrari is simply not good.
No, I have to...
Yeah, I know. You have lots to do. But still, it'd be really great if you came to visit sometime.
Stick with Asker. He'll look after you while I'm gone.
I'm gonna take a look around. Maybe I could find traces of the spirits Asker was talking about.
Okay, so we delivered our son right at the end of the video. That's not too bad. It's a little bit strange that literally all of the quests so far have given 200 experience. I would like to see a little bit of variance, but okay. But yeah, guys, like I say, I'm struggling to recommend the game. At the end of the day, you really have to consider what you're spending, the amount of money that you're spending, and the amount of money that you're spending on this game is the same amount of money that you can get God of War for, or Cyberpunk 2077 for, Tomb Raider, the previous Tomb Raider game is fantastic. It's also an open world RPG. I would not recommend Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but Tomb Raider is very good, and Rise of the Tomb Raider is also pretty good. Horizon Zero Dawn, Witcher 3, like I said, all very, very good $50 games. This game is not a very good $50 game, and I'm sorry, but I simply cannot recommend the game when you haven't played any of those other games yet. If you have played those other games yet, then sure. I mean, if you have $50 lying around and $50 is not a lot of money for you, then certainly, I mean, the game is playable. You will probably, the same as in ELEX 1, you will probably be able to play the game for 20 or 30 hours and get a relative amount of enjoyment out of it. I did get a relative amount of enjoyment out of ELEX 1, and I would recommend ELEX 1. It's not a good game like Witcher 3 is, or Cyberpunk is, or Horizon Zero Dawn is, but it's an okay game, and I would say this game is also an okay game. It's not good, but it's not bad. That's really my opinion of the game. It's not good, it's not bad, it's something to play. It could, in my opinion, have been much better if they did a couple of things like I said already, and if they just really tried to make the game better than ELEX 1, because in my opinion they did not try to make the game better than ELEX 1. They tried to make it more open world than ELEX 1, but from what I've seen, they have not really tried to make the game better than ELEX 1. So, really, at the end of the day, like I say, I'm struggling to recommend the game. At the end of the day, I am going to recommend the game, but with the caveat that the game is not amazing, and it's not really better than ELEX 1. It's about the same as ELEX 1 in my opinion. So that's pretty much it for the game, guys. I would appreciate it if you guys could head over to the nexus.gg/LFP gaming link. You can buy a lot of games there on my game store. I think ELEX2 is also on the store there, so if you are going to buy ELEX2 on Steam, you can do it through that link, nexus.gg/LFP gaming, and you will get a Steam key directly from the developers. The developers will get 30% more of your money, and I get like $2 or $3, something like that, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. There's also a lot of other Steam games on there. Also, you can simply do a search. There is a little field there, a little search bar on the store page at nexus.gg/LFP gaming, and you can find a lot of very good games there. God of War is on there, Jurassic World is on there. There's a whole bunch of really good games on there, and that supports the developers because they get a bigger amount of your money, and it also supports me, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks a lot for watching. I looked forward to ELEX 2 a lot, but unfortunately, I am quite disappointed, unfortunately. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.